Greetings, brothers and sisters. A bunch of stuff to get to. An epic gaff from JoJo Magoo that's really got me scratching my head. I mean, it's just a new next level kind of blunder from him. Just clueless, insensitive, and just weird. And there's a bunch of other stuff I want to get to in terms of like all the stuff that's going on. The collapse of the rail system, and now the air balloon UFO thing seems to be over, right? So I want to get into all that. But there was an epic comic that I had. I made a short video this morning, and I got such a great comment, and I wanted to address it first off here because of all the thoughts that I had about it. And so I posted a short video for those of you who watch my Journey series, and you've heard me talk about the Heartfulness organization. I am no longer a part of the Heartfulness organization. The master of the system and the organization are dead to me because of his corruption and the whatever's going on with the organization and not being able to feel the transmission and cleaning. So I'm just connecting directly to what used to be called Saj Marg, the meditation I do. I'm still doing it the way I've always done it. I just no longer have anything to do with the organization. And there's been corruption and just stupidity, bad decision making, and things that just aren't spiritual, that aren't heartfulness. I just found out the current master of the system is he had $100 million startup pharmaceutical business. Him and his family just went bankrupt. I mean, they're just the disaster, right? And so the idea was for those people who are either meditating now because they've heard about it on my YouTube channel, or they're interested in trying it, and they're off-put by what's going on with the system, the organization, because it's so not truth, or it's so sucky, that we could all meditate together at any time tomorrow morning, depending on your time zone or whatever it is. I mean, some people, one person said they're from Turkey, right? So, that's probably an 8-hour time difference from the East Coast here, even more maybe. And so, it's just on Sunday morning, everyone's going to meditate with the idea that we're meditating together because that's when the group meditation is. And then I asked for people to leave comments because this is an experiment. And, I wanted to see if it works and how it was for them or whatever. Whether they were good comments or bad comments, specifically about the meditation, right? What you felt during the meditation or afterwards, did you feel better? What happened? Like sometimes the meditations are a little bit rough to get to, but afterwards you feel great. So things like that. But if you didn't feel anything, that's important too, because I'm not going to pursue this if it doesn't work, right? If people, aren't having the experiences, they have to go figure something else out, right? If it's not working for them. And so I wanted to see, based on this experimental process, how people experienced it, right? And so then I got this wonderful comment, wonderfully bad comment that, I'll just read it to you. Question mark, are you anti-Tartarian Christianity or just want your comments to be pure to your ideals, period, 3 question marks, a greater sign or lesser than, I don't know, and another question mark, right? Now, clearly, it's like a 5-minute video. And this is as an inappropriate comment I've ever received, right? Because I don't know what the person's talking about. None of that is what should be going on with this is not, people are supposed to do the meditation and then leave a comment. Anything else is inappropriate, right? Anything else is not, it's a short video specifically about one thing. Try the meditation. You don't try the meditation, don't leave a comment because it's not appropriate to leave one. You shouldn't even really watch the video. And so there should be no Tartarian or Christian comments other than you see Jesus when you're meditating, something like that. Like, yeah, if you are meditating and you have a vision about the Tartaria, then maybe that would be appropriate. Or you envision a Jesus or something. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, anything that you experience in the meditation itself, but, you shouldn't have any sort of rhetoric. Like if I said, all right, I want everybody to try a restaurant and then tell me what you think of the restaurant, and people are talking about hang gliding or, like, dancing or whatever, it's not appropriate, right? It's a specific set of topics here, one topic about meditation. You can try it or not. If you try it, what do you experience? And you leave a comment, right? What you felt, how, whatever, there was various, whatever, restlessness could be something positive or negative. I mean, it's very clear. The instructions are very clear. Now, I'm clearly not anti-Christian. I mean, I've talked about the Bible and things that have been changed. I'm definitely not anti-Jesus, and I'm grateful I live in a country that has a religion. Religions suck for their various ways of sucking, but I'm glad there are people who believe in God in this, in this country. And I've benefited from the Christian tradition growing up, as a Catholic, which I know a lot of Christians say that's not the same thing, whatever, whatever petty little things you got going on. You don't need to say it. But I benefited from my Catholic upbringing. My mom and grandmother prayed for me and my brothers and sisters. So, we've all benefited from the prayers that they gave. And, I had a good experience in my religion when I was a younger person and graduated into doing spirituality. And then there's the benefits of Christianity has on, like, say, homeschooling. And, there's some, things that have come out of the Christian community that has benefited me and my family. My kids did a lot of Christian homeschooling and things like this, Christian-based education. So I'm certainly not anti-Christian. I'm not really anti-anything. Now, I know almost nothing about the Tartarian thing. My wife told me a little bit about it, and maybe she sent me a link about it. And then someone on Instagram sent me a recording, a video. Maybe it was here. I don't know what it was. But it was an Australian Tartarian person. And he was pissed off and at other Tartarian people. And he let this vulgar tirade of how much, he was the only real truther and the rest of these people weren't true Tartarians. And he called them all kinds of names. And it was pretty funny. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed what he heard. Maybe I didn't listen to the whole thing. But he went on a long rant. And it seemed like the Tartarian community is a lot like the Flat Earth community or the QB community because of similar behaviors and comments like this person left. And so I don't know about the Tartarian theory, but it seems like the people who did Flat Earth and did QB stuff have folded into this new movement. I mean, I know almost nothing about it, but based on a few comments I've received and the hostility that already exists towards other members of the community and this purity-based truther stuff that just sucks. I dislike purity truthers. They're trying to keep the truther community pure. And I don't mind if, here's another comment here. Is this the comment? Makes videos. This is Ghoulish Madam Expiration Date. Madonna thinks she looks cute. And then I got a comment from somebody that said, makes videos, he's talking about me, makes videos on her being investigated for trafficking minors or writing about F, a boy in her book. This ain't a truther channel no more. No mo. I'm going to say that, but he said more. And this is a purity truther, right? Because the Madonna thing where she's trafficking children or not is something it's not going to stick, and we don't know if it's true or not. It's just one of these right-wing things that go around. I've covered Madonna more than anybody else, how, she's a pure demon in the, her ego, and she's an ego-based person, and she's done so much damage in her professional life to the culture and all these other things. But, people sent me that stuff. I looked at it. I mentioned it once or twice about the trafficking rumors, but they're rumors. They're unsubstantiated rumors that ultimately are probably just going to embarrass the truth community. The other thing that she said, she's always saying inappropriate things. But it's not going to move the needle. It's not going to change anything, which I'll get into at the end of the video. Things come and go. People get all riled up in the truth community and other places on the right and the left. Nothing ever changes. The system's demonic. It's going to collapse. And there's, so if you think this isn't Truther Channel and you're a purity truther, you should go somewhere else, right? and you're not welcome here because you think you're like better and you're not, right? You think you're keeping it real or something, and you're not. You're just a fool, right? Go away, fool. So that's the that's the introduction. Let's get into the other stuff here. Okay, so let's start here. I'm going to get to Britney J. Spears. Does a little dancing, little crazy, little dancing, little Britney. But this is an epic gaff by JoJo Magoo. One that is, I've been covering his gaffs now since 2019. So 4 years I've documented his, his goofiness, his senility, his creepiness, all of it. But he stunned me with this one.
Planning to travel to these towns? This time was not. I did a whole video. What the hell? On Zoom. All I see every time I think of Zoom is that song of my generation. Who's Zoom and who? Let me answer the question.
Okay, we'll get to the end of this in a moment. We'll come back and play this, and we'll replay that part. Lot to cover here. So this is the one my wife sent me. This is a better quality video. But before I saw that one, somebody sent me this on Instagram. Are you planning on travel to East Palestine? Used to be Palestine, but now Palestine. At this moment, not. I did a whole video. The what the hell, on Zoom. Someone said Zoom, so then he gets Zoom. On Zoom, all I can hear every time I think of Zoom is that song of my generation. Who's zooming who? We'll watch this again here.
Are you planning to travel to these towns? This time was not. I did a whole video. What the hell? On Zoom. All I see every time I think of Zoom is that song of my generation. Who's Zoom and who?
Who's Zooming Who? By Aretha Franklin. Here are the lyrics, right? And so he says every time he hears about Zoom, he just thinks about this song, which is very strange because, other than the word Zoom, they have nothing to do with each other. And he's referring to this, during a chemical crisis to do with East Palestine. Oh boy, oh yeah. You walked in on the sly, scooping for love. In the crowd, I caught your eye. You can't hide your stuff. You thought I'd be naive and tame. You met your match. Beat you at your own game. Oh, take another look and tell me, baby, who's zooming who? Okay. It goes on from here. Who's zooming who? The fish jumped off the hook. Did it, baby? Didn't I, baby? Take another look at me, baby. Who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? Guess you believe the world played by your rules. Here stands an experienced girl. I ain't nobody's fool. Bump you. You thought you had me covered. Now, boy, I've got your bait. But you're bound to be my lover, oh. Take another look and tell me, baby, who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? And it goes on from there. Somewhere it says, who's fooling who? You think you're smooth and you can pick and choose. And when the time is right, but just look behind, you'll be surprised to find I'm going to make you mine tonight. Oh, yeah. Take another look and tell me, baby, who's zooming who, and all this other stuff. Repeat the chorus. So what the blank does that have to, what's the boop does that have to do with Zoom, the technology of a Zoom call? Every time I hear it, I have to think about the song. And you were asked about East Palestine, where people are suffering drastically. When I saw this quote, I'm like, oh, this must be one of those deep fakes, because I've seen a recent deep fake of JoJo Magoo, and it was so bad I couldn't believe that this is the drivel he was spitting. But, I underestimated him once again.
I did a whole video. I mean, what the hell? On Zoom. All I
Okay, there's the Washington Monument.
see every time I think of Zoom, that's going to my generation. Who's zooming who? Wait. Let me answer the question. The answer is that I had a long meeting with my team and what they're doing. We were there 2 hours after the train went down. 2 hours. I've spoken with every single major figure in both.
So here he is. Like, he's got the Washington Monument here. He's got the Crypt Keeper mullet hanging on. Like, talking about who's in with who, and he's telling him he's on the job. He's been, and I mean, he's a disaster. Speaking of disasters, here's one, Britney J. Spears. The pics I've taken while out with Hassan, I always look just as tall or taller with him. So the pic was pretty interesting. He's like 2 heads bigger than me. If you swipe, you'll see what me and my assistant do in rainy days. 80s nerds music. Don't be jealous of my skills. There they are. And then, okay, there she goes. We're going to do a little ballet, do a little, skank ballet. Go back and forth, left to right, boom, boom, little ballet. There you go. All right, good for you, Britney. Boom, hump at the pole, hump at the pole, hump at the pole, hump at the pole. Boom, 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 boom. I'm a little teacup. I'm grabbing my bosoms here. I'm a hula hoop. I'm an upside down hula hoop. I'm a vertical hula hoop. Look at me go. There we go. We'll roll the dice. I'm rolling the dice. I'm feeling myself. I'm rolling the dice. A hula hoop. I'm a hula hoop. Upside down hula hoop. Hula hoop. Around we go. Ooh. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Grab my hair. Reach for the sky. Do one of those. There you go. There's Britney at her finest. I think this is repetitive. There you go. Back to humping the pole.
Great news is, okay, so last week, guys, I made a dress. It's really proud, diamond panel, slip in the back. A girlfriend helped me sew it. They sent me a dress I didn't have to make myself.
This is Britney's British accent. She does this occasionally. She's really bad at it. But she, she doesn't know. So pretend she's really good at it because you might hurt her feelings.
I can't believe it. I'm just saying. Okay, now I'm so proud. I didn't even have to make it myself. Thank you, company, for sending me this dress. Thank you.
Britney's crazy is on a spectrum, which those of us who have witnessed this realize she's crazy all the time, but sometimes more than others.
You guys, I just want you to know if I shut down my Instagram, do not call the cops. Don't ever be a roller coaster. I got this dress as well.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit crazier than normal. Stay humble out there, y'all. Hi, mommy and daddy. I'm a star. Have you heard? Carry on, peeps. All right, peep.
Well, just because somebody said something doesn't mean it has to be printed.
Kaboom.
You don't circulate stories that are mean and unkind about people.
Kablamo.
There are too many other stories to put in, nice stories.
But, Paul, when we put in the nice kind of stories, nobody wanted to buy the paper.
Kablamo again. Okay, Britney J. Spears. The constant lies from the media and TMZ have felt like borderline harassment. It's extremely disturbing due to the fact of how incredibly important it is at this time in my life to be supported and respected. Also, the way the news has always spread lies about me is incredibly heartbreaking. I meditate over hope and excitement for my future. I have transformed my whole life with the elimination of my conservatorship, and I deserve respect. It's almost embarrassing commenting on this because of how completely outrageous what's being said is. It's my right to protect myself from the cruelty of the outside world. Andy Griffith Show, CBS Studios. Kablam! bringing it. She's bringing it with Andy Griffith. Kevin Bacon watch Kevin Bacon serenade his ghosts with Meghan Trainor's Made You Look.
I could have my Gucci on, and I could wear my Louis Vuitton, but even with nothing on, that I made you look.
Okay, he's got goats. Kevin Bacon's got goats, and he sings to them. I used to cover how goats symbolizes Baphomet. I have a huge goat folder, but whatever.
Patty just shared an anecdote with me, and she said that someone told her that his 3-year-old saw the movie, and when the movie ended, the boy said, "When I grow up, I want to be a woman."
And isn't that the goal, Gail Godot? Isn't that the goal after all?
So, as artists and filmmakers, I believe that it's not only our job to entertain, but our duty to inspire and educate for love and respect.
5 dead, including patient and medical personnel in Care Flight plane crash in Nevada. So this is following 5 dead who were people from Arkansas that were environmental toxicology people. I don't know if they have something in common, but, probably do. I'll cover this again tomorrow on my other channel. So one of my viewers sent me this in an email. This is a Red Flag 2023. It's American, British, and Australian forces coming together and doing an exercise. And this one, well, let's let this guy tell you about it.
On the NTTR and how much of the exercise you actually expanding out into these new environments.
So as a comparison to Red Flag 22-1, we have 15 training days and 27 different events we do on those training days. The difference between the one we did last January and we did this January is all 27 of those events are now linking the Nevada Test and Training Range and the China Lake R2508 airspace. So that modernizes our airspace and gives us about another 75 miles to work with. On 3 additional evenings.
Okay, so they were doing some sort of exercise. It was partially in the Nevada airspace, but also over the Pacific Ocean.
On our Thursday evenings, we link the Utah Test and Training Range, the Nevada Test and Training Range, and the R2508 airspace. And we expand those training events from 90 minutes to 3 hours. And then for the first time ever tomorrow, we are going to attempt our ball in the Whiskey 291 airspace off the west side of the Baja Peninsula in San Diego. And that'll be a 1-hour ball as well.
So this is the first time.
So this is what he's talking about here. Exercise Red Flag is a 2-week advanced aerial combat training exercise held several times a year by the United States Air Force. It aims to offer realistic air combat training for military pilots and other flight crews and other flight crew members from the United States and allied countries. Each year, 3 to 6 Red Flag exercises are held at Nails Air Force Base in Nevada, while 4 more are held in Alaska, which is where the weather balloon first came from, right? So this is February 8th, right? Red Flag exercise to provide air crews the experience of multi-intensive air combat sorties in the safety of our training environment. So this was going on while it says here February 8th. The training occurs at Neal's Air Force Base in Nevada or the Nevada Test Training Range, the Air Force premier military training area with more than 1,200 square miles of airspace and 2.9 million acres of land. And so this is from January 24th, 2023. First exercise, Red Flag, Nellis of 2023, begins in Nevada. And the Chinese weather balloon was first seen in Billings, Montana on February 1st, but was obviously there earlier. And so it seems like this exercise, which was going on through February 8th, so during the same basic time period, it was both these things were going on. And so there's Vegas. All right, so these things were, I mean, it looks kind of fishy is what I'm saying. Somebody sent me all this, didn't know about it, but, you know, based in just the timing of it alone.
The red flag event has taken place over the Pacific Ocean.
This is the first time that a red flag analysis has taken place over the Pacific.
So it was over the Pacific Ocean during this time period.
The weapons school has done 3 or 4 vols successfully in that same airspace over the last year and a half.
So this looks very fishy because they should have been, like, they should have ran into the, you know, there's this giant balloon or whatever it was, you know, that I saw, right? And I mean, you know, highly fishy that they were having an exercise and then this thing happened. Okay, I don't need to see any more of this thing. But it says red flag. The time of the video, if you're interested in seeing any more, is red flag 23-1, press briefing, Nellis Air Force Base. And so if you've studied this or if you've heard about this, there are oftentimes exercises, simulations, military, intelligence community, governmental simulations and exercises that are running on the same time as events that end up being tragic, as end up being big news stories. I mean, this has gone on for many years. That there's a simulation running at the same time as a big event. Often the simulation is identical to the big event. And this happened back in 2001, the big event there. And, you know, the local police and the Air Force and other people are told to stand down because it's a simulation. And they think it's just a military exercise or police exercise or something. And it ends up being real, or at least that's what they tell us. And, you know, I'm just over the whole thing. I mean, it just looks really fishy. Premex hit by fires at 3 facilities in one day. This is Reuters. 3 fires broke out on Thursday at different facilities in Mexico. In the United States, operated by state-owned Mexican oil company Premex, leaving 5 missing and 8 others injured as of Thursday evening. So the number 5 has come up 3 times, right? 2 different flights and now this thing in the oil field. You know, 5, of course, the number of the pentagram and the coven, amount of people in a coven. Just, you know, FYI. But more fires are happening.
I have to ask you, you're going on tour to promote this book, It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism.
Exactly. Be angry about capitalism. Bernie is not a capitalist, doesn't want anything to do with capitalism.
And you're here talking about it.
Exactly. He's there.
I understand we're not the bad guys you're describing in the book when it comes to media.
Exactly. Not CBS. No, not those guys.
Yeah, but...
You know, CBS is the best media.
Tickets for your tour apparently are selling for $95 on Ticketmaster, which is...
Boom, he raised his finger. Watch. Look at him wag his finger here.
Master, which is accused of anti-competitive behavior. You know that. Some of your Democrats are criticizing them. Aren't you benefiting yourself from this system that you're trying to dismantle?
First of all, those decisions are made totally by the publisher and the bookseller.
Exactly what a capitalist would say.
I think there's one case where in one place here in Washington, Politics and Prose, an independent bookstore, charging some tickets. Most of them, I think, are $40, $50.
Exactly, $40.
And you get a book as well. So if you want to come, you're going to have to pay $40. I'll throw in the book for free.
Throw in the book for free. Exactly. That's what a capitalist would say. I'll take things that capitalists would say for $500, Alex.
And we're doing a number of free events, but I don't make a nickel out of these things at all.
But you're okay doing business with Ticketmaster?
In fact, he doesn't even use money at all.
Master?
No, not particularly, but that's, again, I have nothing to do with that.
Here's one, Alec J. Baldwin, during better days.
You tell them that we are horrible, desperate, ghoulish creatures who will...
He's a ghoulish creature, a desperate, ghoulish creature. I mean, he was so prophetic. He knew how he was going to end up.
Stop at nothing to get our house back.
Kaboom! Exactly. He's this horrible, ghoulish creature.
Hello, Mr. Baldwin. You're in my way. Sorry, sir. Out of my way. Sorry. Out of his way. No, it's the other car, Alec.
China calls for peace talks, ceasefire between Russia and the Ukraine. China and Russia met together, and, you know, eventually this is going to end up as World War III as they team up against JoJo Magoo. 500,000 customers still without power in Michigan as temperatures plunge. Yeah, there you go. This is exactly what we need. This is, you know, trains crashing, planes crashing, fires igniting, services breaking down, exercise being run, you know, questionable times, Alec P. Baldwin being ghoulish, Britney dancing. I mean, it's all coming together. It's the Apocalaughs, son, right? Okay, so I was going to make a long, whatever, voiceover. I forget what I was going to say. I've had a, you know, it's not been a bad day, but I've just been doing other things today. So I'm going to leave it here. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely reporting for the Apocalaughs and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.